Here's the one video you need to watch if you have concerns about autism. My name is Dr. Sasha Nani. I'm a board-certified psychiatrist, and pay attention because I'm going to go really fast. Diagnosis of autism is typically made in children who meet diagnostic criteria for ASD, autism spectrum disorder, based on history and observation of behavior. The DSM, which is basically this big fat book, which is a psychiatry diagnosis standard, talks about two major sets of diagnostic criteria. One, which talks about persistent deficits in social communication and interaction. The other that refers to repetitive patterns of behavior, activities, and interests. So I'm going to explain. So when I'm talking about persistent deficits in social communication and interaction in multiple settings, by the way, you want to see deficits in all three of these. A deficit in social emotional reciprocity. Basically, there's limited give and take. It's hard to have mutually enjoyable and agreeable conversations or interactions because of a lack of mutual sharing of interests, lack of awareness, understanding of thoughts and feelings of other. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. A problem with nonverbal communicative behaviors used for social interaction. So basically having a hard time figuring out nonverbal cues and context, like problems with eye contact, facial expressions, body language, tone. Issues with developing, maintaining, and understanding relationships. So this is like a hard time adjusting to social settings, lack of interest in socializing, difficulty making friends, even when they're interested in having friendships. And then in terms of restrictive and repetitive patterns, you need two or more of these. Repetitive movements, use of objects or speech. So this is rocking, flapping, spinning, repeating parts of speech, repeating scripts from movies or prior conversations. The insistence on sameness, not breaking routines, difficulty with transitions, eating the same food every day. Highly restricted and fixated interests. So like an absolute preoccupation with certain objects or topics. Increased or decreased response to sensory input. Seams and socks, stuff like that. So symptoms have to impair functioning. They have to be present in that early developmental period. As you get older, you might mask it, but when you look back, there has to be signs of it at a young age. And symptoms are not better explained by intellectual disability or global developmental delay. So now if you're hearing this, you can probably understand why this is talked about so much. Maybe even think, yeah, maybe I show symptoms. Here's the deal. There's tons of crossover with other things, and that's why it's so important to look at things all together so you're not getting blindsided by just one feature. Don't hinge your diagnosis on one thing. If you think you have autism, then learn more. Grab as much information as possible. Just make sure it's coming from the right place. It's never too late to understand your brain.